So, hi everyone, welcome to the Cordless Power station. Welcome everyone who's joining online. We would like to show you the ProCore battery. And the ProCore battery is not just another battery, it's probably the best built battery in the world, and it's really kind of a revolution in the power tool industry. So my name is Arne Christ. I'm working in product management. I'm responsible for the batteries, chargers, drill drivers and impact drivers, so for a lot of cordless tools. And with me today is Stefan Rübenmacher.
Welcome.
He's the head of engineering for batteries, chargers, all the cordless components, everything which you have in a drill driver, the motors, the electronics, the switches and so on. So if you got a detailed technical question, he's the man. All right. So, the ProCore battery. ProCore, because it's the core of a cordless power tool, it's the heart of a cordless power tool, is a battery pack. Most important part probably. And what is special about this ProCore pack? What you have today, this is our battery pack, what you can see here. And with today's battery pack, you get a performance which you can compare with a corded tool, which gives you around 860 watts. So you know it from the small angle grinders, it's all about wattage. So this existing battery pack, 860 watts, and with the new pack you get up to 90% more performance. So that means you get 1600 watts. You can all of a sudden run power tools which you could not run on a battery so far. So that's a revolution, and it sounds like magic. How is it possible, Stefan?
So yes, the core of this development is of course the lithium-ion cell. So the core of each core pack is a lithium-ion cell, and we are using now for this new kind of batteries a new technology of lithium-ion cell, which is so-called 21700 cell. This kind of cell is driven by automotive industry, so big American companies are already using this for automotive applications. And what we will do is integrate this into a really powerful battery and enable a new kind of battery called ProCore.
So, I would like to share a little bit with you, what does it mean now, 1600 watts. We did some internal testings with our drill driver, and what you can see, you get 50% more holes with a 25mm spade bit. Show you another example in terms of runtime. We are talking about 7.0 ampere hours, giving you a runtime of 1500 screws. So this is for most applications more than sufficient, I assume. Next one, looking at the hammer, you can drill up to 75% more holes. And now it's getting a bit interesting because we are comparing it again always with our existing battery pack. It's not only about the runtime and the performance on top of it, what you have with existing battery packs with smaller battery cells. These battery packs stop all of a sudden. If you have a very tough application, if you do grinding application, drilling holes in concrete in a row, very tough application, these battery packs get hot and then they shut down and you have to stop working. And this is what happened here, just with the standard application which you do almost every day. So 75% with a little remark, and then we did another one with the angle grinder. And this is also an important one because yes, you get a lot more power out of this battery pack, but as long as your motor and your whole tool cannot really take the power, there's no point in it. Because still, if you take this battery pack but use it with an existing tool, you won't feel the full 1600 watts. So what it also needs a more powerful drivetrain of the whole power tool. It needs a better electronics, it needs a bigger motor, and so on and so forth. Only then you can really fully utilize the performance of this new pack. And this is what you can see here a little bit, because we tested our smaller angle grinder with the old battery pack, and you can see then our latest angle grinder model, which is an equivalent of around 1000 watt. This gives you 40% more removal performance. So there is still room for improvement, 1000 watt, but important for you really to understand, battery, yes, is the basis and is important, but the tool also needs to be able to really utilize the performance which you have with your battery. That's very important. Next one, compact size. That's something we are proud of, because Cordless is about mobility. You have a cordless tool because you run around with it the whole day, you are working on the job site. So for us it is really crucial that you get the most compact or the most possible compact battery and most lightweight battery we can do for you. And this is why we are making the most compact battery on the market. And you can see that our next competitor is already 30% bigger in volume, and then there's other manufacturers, colors just randomly, which are a lot bigger. And another one we are really proud. We call it the flexible power system. Flexible power system means that you can really take every battery, every charger and every tool out of the same voltage class, so 18 volts, and you can mix and match it. This sounds very easy, but I think we are the only ones which are able to do that. You can take the very oldest battery and can put it on the latest tool, and also the other way around. You can take our latest battery pack and you can put it on any older tool, drill driver, whatever. It does not destroy your tool. It fits, you can work with it, it does not destroy the tool. The only thing, you will not feel the full performance of this pack. We are 100% committed to the 18 volt range, and we are also saying we will give you full performance, which is possible in the market based on the cells, based on technology. You will get the full performance with Bosch on the 18 volt class, because for us it's the most important voltage class for you. This is what we see, and we are fully committed that you get the full performance on the 18 volt class. One more point today, you see here also the, we call it double layer pack because there's 2 layers of battery cells inside. We give you already a little bit an outlook what's coming up, the single layer one and even a triple layer one. So this is about capacity, and which means longer runtime for you if you go for a triple layer. But what is really important to understand, and this is not many people are aware of that, if you have a double layer pack, this gives you more power also, not only runtime, really more power over a single layer pack. So this is why you might feel, if you take a current single layer pack, that the performance is not as what you expected, what you know from this one. The big news now coming with the Pro Core is that in fact, because the cells are having this higher performance, you get already with a single layer pack all the power which you are used to of the today's pack here, of the double layer one. So this is really new, and this gives you completely new possibilities, because you can, for many applications and many tools, it's completely sufficient to go with a single layer pack. Again, flexible power system, we leave it completely up to you. You can put still any pack on any tool. So if you say I need a lightweight tool, you go with this pack. If you say I want an extraordinary long runtime, you take the triple layer pack. So still flexible power system, but for you important to understand, you get a really new performance out of a single layer pack with the coming Pro Core batteries. Any questions at that moment? No. Great. So, Stefan, why do we have the probably best power tool battery in the world?
Yeah. No. Going a little into the physics and the design of a lithium-ion battery to show what we have done to make that happen. So first, we talked already about for a lot of years, maybe 10 years, this was a standard cell used in power tools. It's a so-called 18650 cell, so 18 millimeter diameter and a height of 65 millimeters. In future, we will use a 21700, so 21 millimeter diameter, 70 millimeters height. But the size is not the most important topic. The most important topic is, with this new design, with the new inner design of these cells, we will be able to open a new range for capacity, so runtime. Already this battery has as a single layer a capacity, this cell has as a single layer a capacity of 4 amp hours. You might know in former times you have to combine 2 strands to get 4 amp hours. You will have this with 1 strand, with 1 layer. Second point is the current, so the amps you can drive from this cell are much, much higher than you can drive from this cell. So we use this ingredient now. We take this more powerful more runtime cell, integrated into a matrix which is very specific for the cool pack concept. That's the so-called high density PE matrix, which is a material which is able to have a very good heat dissipation for the cell, because you know the best way to destroy this kind of cells is overheating them. The chemistry in this cells is not very tolerant against overheating, so you have to protect your cell in a matrix, and we do this by this red material. We do this by having the cell in very close contact to the matrix, moving away this isolation here, and we have a new production technology for the cell connectors. You know, for having cells in series and parallel configuration, you need the cell connectors, which are used here to have 5 cells in series and 2 strands in parallel. These cell connectors are now in the new battery built by thick copper material. And the point is, if you want to have thick copper, you need to have a new mounting process. So we have installed in our fabrication location a new process which is called laser welding. This kind of laser welding is able to do a very good interface between the cell and the copper connector. So you have very low ohmic, very good heat dissipating copper on the cell, and this together is the key of our cool pack concept. Second, you need an electronic in the battery, and this electronic has to be able to communicate to the tool and telling the tool how the status of the battery is. So this kind of electronic is something like a electronic interface, telling the tool, I am this kind of battery, my temperature is that, and I'm feeling good. That's the main purpose of this kind of electronic. And if in that case that the electronic is telling, for example, hey, I'm too hot, or there is something with my balancing, then the tool is able to drive down the current, and then the battery can be always in a budget, in an electrical thermal budget where it is safe and where it is under healthy conditions. That's the concept. And to prove that this concept is not only theory, I've brought to you something from our lab that I would like to show you now as an example. I have to go around for that. This, what you see here, is a thermal camera. So the camera is making a picture of the heat budgets of the surface of the battery. And please watch out these 2 cursors here. These 2 cursors are exactly giving the temperature at that point. So that means it's a cold day today in Berlin. We have 15 degrees Celsius on the surface of this battery. And what I will do now, sorry, I have to go here. We take our Pro-Core battery, and we take another battery, I don't know which, some from someone else. You see my hand here over it now. And what I will do, I will use this lab equipment and discharge both batteries with a current of 32 amps. 32 amps is not very much for a high power tool, but it's something. And I will now start discharging these 2 batteries, and would like to have a look on the monitor, on the picture of the battery.
And again, 32 amps, it's just like a normal screwing application. It's now nothing special. It's not like grinding with the highest pressure, where we can take up to 90 amps, so 3 times. So it's really like a very standard, normal application.
Now what you will see in some seconds is the right side battery, the Pro-Core battery, is the hotter one. That's not a problem. That's a solution for the health and the operational duty of your battery. So the cool pack concept is enabling to dissipate the heat from the cell core, and the cell core keeps cool. So we are always here. You see now we had 2 degrees difference, and if you wait some minutes, there will be 5 or 10 degrees. That depends on the application. But this kind of combination of electronics and mechanical design is giving us this, now it's 3 degrees, is giving us this advantage that we will have a long-lasting, cool battery in comparison to other concepts.
3 degrees doesn't sound too much, but what we did, we tested also our battery, the same battery, and took out all our cooling measures, the cool pack, the matrix, and so on. We just put it together like a normal battery, and what we found out was really that our cool pack battery is lasting twice as long, so it gives you a 100% longer lifetime, implementing all these matrix, copper, and laser welding processes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a short look into our engineering. Yeah, we could talk another 3 hours about that, but maybe you have questions.
What's the weight difference as well?
Sorry, didn't get you.
What's the weight difference between the 7 amp Pro Core to 6 amp standard?
No, that's just like 50 grams, or it's not a lot. Yeah.
So if you were to open up those battery packs now, the core temperature in the cells, where the cells are they going to be a similar temperature, or is it just the fact that this the core is actually spreading the heat out and getting rid of the heat?
Exactly. And that's a funny part, because you can read very often online, you read, oh Bosch, you have a problem because your batteries are getting so hot. In fact, what Stefan said, that's not the problem. This is a solution to give you a long battery lifetime, to keep the cells really as cool as possible.
You see it now by 7 or 8 degrees. This is a red matrix. What you see in green now is a red matrix, and this is really designed for doing that. That's a radiation heat coming out.
Right. So there's no sort of overheating of the cells themselves.
It's exactly what we want.
And in that case, if the temperature would be really too hot, then the electronics would monitor and would drive down the current. That's the second point. That's what we call battery management system. So one part is done by design, one part is done by electronic control.
All right, thank you for following us, everyone who followed us online. This was Pro Core, probably best battery in the world, the next level of cordless power tool batteries. We say goodbye to you and hope to see you again soon. Cheers.